بنی آدم اعضای یک پیکرند که در آفرینش ز یک گوهرند. چو عضوی به درد آورد روزگار، دگر عضوها را نماند قرار.
Another world is not only possible, she's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing.
I wish that one day everyone on earth will one whole life of peace. I wish that one day everyone will help the next person in need. I wish that one day in this one life I make one change that is deep. I wish that one day everyone will finally feel the unity.
Right here, right now, together, we're generating the momentum, the blaze of imagination, and the beautiful nurturing of each other. Here and now is the rise of feminine intelligence that is vital to our future. It's essential that it be employed in positions of power, influence, and leadership.
We are all evolving. We are all on the frothy edge of evolution, and it is a rock and tumble place to be.
Like a Jordanian pilot has been burned alive, filmed, and it was put into the internet, and many people saw it. People have been killed in terrible ways, especially in the Middle East recently, that spread out through the whole internet. And now I'm asking myself, what has this to do with us? But I believe what this conference is about is compassion, interconnectedness, the capacity to feel, and the capacity to host what we call difficult.
What I realize now is that to prevent terror requires radical acts and working with women.
The current systems of governance, both national politics and global governance, are not serving humanity and the planet, but are destroying humanity and the planet. So how can we use this intelligence, the FemmeQ intelligence, to design a new world, a new governance?
What's our job? What's our rising? Is it to sit and simply do our personal development? And that's what unites us in FemmeQ, in this movement, is that the privileges that we have, the work that we've done, we've fought for, the rights that we've fought for, all of us in this room, men and women. Now we can put that resource that we have, that intelligence we've developed, into action.
Nima Namadamo from the Democratic Republic of Congo, who got polio at the age of 2 and was considered a basket case. She created a movement called Maman Shuja, which is Women Heroes of the Congo. And she says, we women are not just here to make a little noise. We women are here to change the paradigm.
Unravel the conventional notion of peace. Peace as the lady in white. Wholly passive and passively holy. Nothing like that. Sometimes the peaceful woman is a woman warrior on whom it is incumbent to actually even trouble the ship of the state and go into areas where it's not possible for most people to go.
Love. This is not simply a quality for the meek and gentle. It actually prevents suicide bombing.
Put your hand on your heart. Are you accepting yourself as it is? Are you forgiving yourself? If you are not able to accept yourself, you are not able to accept the others. If you didn't forgive yourself, you are not able to forgive the others. So, this is initial for self-empowerment. Empowerment of women starts with yourself.
I don't believe that we lack self-confidence. I believe that we're not living the kinds of stories we want to be living.
It's not just the hero's journey anymore. It is the heroine's journey, because it's not about a lonely hero. It's about a woman who involves everyone else on the journey of transformation.
This was really a milestone event. I am so happy to have been able to make the trip over to be a part of this very first FemmeQ event.
I don't know, the place of the summit, the art around, and the sun that was coming on the window. It's hot, and I don't know, I felt like a very friendly and open space, and like a creative place to be.
Every detail had been paid attention to, so the location was absolutely stunning, the interior was beautiful, the food was delicious and beautifully presented. Every little detail had been paid attention to, and everything was beautiful. And that was, of course, that's not something that you normally experience at a conference. So it was very lovingly created.
The reason why I think this summit is so important is that it's gathering people who have been willing to do the inner work to be able to make their work in the world more effective.
What unites us as rising women when we all came together was the deep, deep spiritual practices that we all shared, the deep, deep values that connected us. In most parts of the world, our beliefs separate us, but we know that all of you here share with us the values that connect us.
Well, I'm part of this because I think from my experience of Rising Women, Rising World, there is this new way of talking, a new way of thinking, which has expanded me and made me grow. What I have to offer to that, I think, is how to work as one and how to create a space that is basically a pool in which everyone adds ingredients to make this dance.
The constellations are the beating heart of Rising Women, Rising World. Nobody's ever done anything like this before, because the first thing that the constellations do is to inquire into what the future holds in 12 fields. So we're looking over the horizon. We're looking at what already is in the world that works.
So to connect the local with the global, the particular with the universal, to be aware of that every step of the way is what inclusivity is about.
Always keep it real. Always. Because inauthenticity is brought into the community. What it does, it contaminates the community. It affects the integrity of the community.
The feminism was the hardware, no? Because somehow we create a structure to say and to explain what was and what was not. And the feminine is this software, is that content, is how we are and how we express it. But I think the time is mature now for us to kind of empower that content that we call feminine.
It feels a bit like a software update. So sort of, you know, my software works okay, and it has had already some of the elements I heard, but today I feel like, okay, well, I've just downloaded an update for it. So.
It is about our capacity to create a level of impact that transforms the entire system as well as the trajectory of reality. That is what we want here, is it not?
If I'm not connected to my own feminine side, it's very difficult to bring it out into the world. So I wanted to make sure with all the speakers who came here today that we speak for a whole day about what FemmeQ means for us on a very individual and personal level. And so I hope that everybody has a sense of how they are connected to their own feminine side. and then of how we bring it into the world, in our professional life, in society, in our community. I have a guess, which is that we are all going to leave that room and be serious activists.
It's time to grow up. This is not fluffy stuff. And business particularly needs to be part of this transformation.
You know, if we don't allow space for the new to emerge, it's very hard for businesses to stay current. And ideally, not only current, but ahead of the curve.
Coming from a corporate environment, it's really refreshing to know that there is women and support out there that want to make a positive change in the corporate world.
And mostly what I see in the corporate corridors now is people forget their heart and why they come to work as an expression of their vocation, as an expression of protecting their families. They ignore that and then go home to restore themselves when they return to their families. And it's critical we integrate the two. And that's why it's important we bring heart back to business, because people are burnt out, worn out, overwhelmed, and we have to bring that heart, that compassion, and we need to care for the men and women that are providing the resources that we have in our lives and remind them of why they go to work in the first place.
Are we not twice enough to give all we are?
I had this imagining one day that if a man were to bring his child in his arms into the boardroom and look down at his child and said, now make your decision for the future of the company.
And finding its way, we have the chance to make a difference till our dying day.
There's no words that can express the potential, the power, and the unity, so thank you.
This FemmeQ Summit was, I think, the best summit I've ever been to in my life, and I've been to some summit. Yeah, it's been really life-changing.
It was a real pleasure, privilege, and honor to be here as a man in this event.
Blown away, amazing, really, really amazing, inspired and energized and ready to change the world.
Another world is not only possible, she's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. Whether we want to participate or not, this awakening of consciousness is happening.